So Longtooth belongs to this new species of Giganotosaurus. She is, to be precise, a Mapusaurus. And at 22 years of age, she is fully grown. Strong One is, unknowingly, in a critical time. As an adult Argentinosaur, he has no predator to fear. Unless he is too old or sick or wounded. Despite their numbers and their powerful jaws, the Giganotosaurus can't bring down such a giant. Tearing off pieces of skin and letting the large prey bleed to death or die from infection is a strategy more likely to succeed. Giganotosaurs could wait days, even weeks between meals, but this time they won't have to. Time flies.
Carcharodontosaurus, a land-based killer, a meat-eater, a carnosaur. A cousin of Allosaurus, but 4 times bigger. With serrated teeth 16 centimeters long, Carcharodontosaurus was a giant killer. Up to 13 meters long and weighing around 7 tons. Like Spinosaurus, it too was bigger than T-Rex. Big predators need big hunting ranges. Carcharodontosaurus may have needed up to 500 square kilometers each, making competition for the best hunting grounds intense. These young male Carcharodontosaurus both want supremacy over this territory. Dominating the land is the key to survival for these killers. And that can mean a fight to the death. The evidence of infighting between carnivores of the same species is dramatic. Forensic examination of fossils has uncovered injuries on the skull bones of many large carnivores. Tooth puncture marks and gouges are remarkably common. Such violent head and face biting is thought likely to be territorial. More than 15 meters long and weighing about 45 tons, this is the most powerful marine reptile ever discovered. Twice as big as most Jurassic Ocean predators. This is Predator X, an animal that must go down in history as one of the ocean's most deadly hunters. And its prey, like Giganotosaurus, that are in its sights. Of giant killers like Predator X suggests that they hunted their prey by smell, channeling water through special internal nostrils, allowing them to silently hone in on their target. Analyzing their anatomy, we've calculated that Predator X could move up to 5 meters per second, fractionally faster than a Giganotosaurus. The Giganotosaurus' only defense is to head for the refuge of shallow water. This time, Predator X's size works against him. Unable to hunt efficiently in shallow water means that the Giganotosaurus can use this as a refuge.
Sea monsters are considered to be mythical creatures at the center of tall tales. But science tells a story of real-life monsters lurking in Earth's prehistoric seas, monsters called plesiosaurs. Plesiosaurs were ancient marine reptiles that first appeared about 215 million years ago. They belonged in the order Plesiosauria, which is divided into two groups, the long-necked plesiosaurs and the short-necked pliosaurs. Plesiosaurs were massive animals. They grew up to 43 feet long, with large bodies and small triangular heads with smooth, sharp teeth. Their most signature feature was their long necks. Spanning half the length of their body, plesiosaur necks had up to 76 distinct vertebrae, over 10 times more than that found in humans. Older depictions portray these necks as willowy and snake-like, but recent discoveries have shown that they were in fact relatively stiff. This allowed the plesiosaurs to stay streamlined while swimming or while hunting fish, squid, and clams. While the plesiosaurs evolved long necks and small heads, their pliosaur cousins went the opposite direction. Their necks were short and their heads were large, measuring up to 10 feet long. But much like plesiosaurs, pliosaurs were massive, growing up to 50 feet long and weighing almost 100,000 pounds. Despite their large size, pliosaurs were excellent swimmers, capable of reaching speeds near 10 kilometers per hour. Their speed, along with their great size, allowed pliosaurs to become ferocious predators, devouring large marine animals and even other plesiosauria. Despite their differences, pliosaurs and plesiosaurs shared a few key features that were characteristic of the genus Plesiosauria. They used all 4 of their flippers to swim in a form of underwater flight, similar to the movement of a dragonfly. And while they spent their entire lives in the sea, plesiosaurs had no gills. Rather, they were air breathers, coming up to the surface for oxygen before every dive. By about 66 million years ago, these powerful predators died out. But today, they continue to be points of fascination, inspiring legends as grand as the monsters themselves.
Spinosaurus is a predator, but one that hunts in water. It's ichthyophagus, a fish eater. This is Onchopristis, an 8-meter-long giant sawfish, similar to those alive today. The saw-like rostrum is lined with lethal barbs and is in itself up to 2.5 meters in length. It's thought they migrated into freshwater rivers to breed, where the young may be safer, but the adults are exposed to new threats. With their breeding season at its height, these rivers are filled with Onchopristis. It's the perfect hunting opportunity for Spinosaurus. Spinosaurus's conical teeth evolved to grip prey rather than tear off flesh. For that, it needs powerful arms and claws. With prey plentiful, Spinosaurus can afford to be wasteful, a fact which other dinosaurs take full advantage of. Rugops, an 8-meter carnivore. Anywhere else it might dominate. But here it is dwarfed by Spinosaurus. Spinosaurus is unique, with long, narrow jaws and nostrils set high on its head. Its teeth were straight and conical. They gave us a clue as to how it killed. More evidence came in 2008, when Spinosaurus' skull was put through a CT scanner. It revealed a curious pattern of holes and sinuses in the snout that looked just like those of crocodiles. It's thought these contain pressure sensors. Sensors that, like a crocodile, can detect prey, making it perfectly adapted to hunting in water. This discovery gives us our best evidence of exactly how it hunted. Able to hold its snout in the water because of its high nostrils, it can strike without even seeing its prey.
These are Diplodocus, heading for a nesting site to the south. It is a grim journey for these mighty creatures, and the heat and lack of drinking water weeds out the weaker animals. Predators know this. Predators like Al. He is now 5 years old, and although he is 9 meters long, he is not yet fully grown. Al is an experienced hunter, but the herd itself presents a formidable barrier to predators. Still, Al is not the only predator stalking the herd. They can all smell that one of the Diplodocus is in a very bad way. The predators are getting impatient. They need to break up the herd and isolate the weakling. The panicked herd has left the sick Diplodocus far behind. The Allosaurus gather for the feast. However, even a sick and exhausted Diplodocus is a fearsome adversary. Built for speed, Al is frequently wounded in such situations, but he cannot afford to let this slow him down. The competition is too intense. The other carnivores hold back and wait for time and the heat to finish the giant herbivore. After several hours, heat exhaustion and his illness bring the Diplodocus to his knees.
This species of veriformin's been extinct since the Cretaceous period. I mean, this thing isn't one of this thing. What?
It's a dinosaur.
You did it. You crazy son of a bitch, you did it.
You just tear up the rule book on it. Cold-bloodedness, it doesn't apply. They're totally wrong. This is a warm-bodied creature.
This thing doesn't live in a swamp.
This thing's got, what, a 25, 27-foot neck? Brachiosaurus 30. We're gonna make a fortune with this place.
The Earth will never see a bigger creature on land. Yet it starts its life in eggs just a little bigger than grapefruits. Scientists believe that female Argentinosaurs, like all Titanosaurs, a class of four-legged, long-necked dinosaurs, left their eggs to their fate as soon as they were laid, relying on their large number for the survival of the species. This baby Argentinosaur, let's call him Strong One, will grow up to be as big as a herd of 14 elephants, 120 feet long, longer than a blue whale, the largest animal living today, if he lives long enough. Predators and hazards abound. Only a few will reach adulthood.
Actually, one of the most important discoveries I've been associated with is an extremely large nesting ground. It helped us to learn a lot about the reproductive behavior of Titanosaurs. This site is known as Aucamahuevo. It covers more than 15 miles and it is approximately 80 million years old. We believe that it was chosen as a nesting site by generation upon generation of these dinosaurs. The nests are so close together that the females could not walk between them. We think that they laid their eggs on the edge of the site and just walked away.
The Earth of the dinosaurs is familiar, yet different. It was warmer than today. Deserts were widespread. For a great part of the dinosaur era, There were no broadleaf trees and no flower-bearing plants. During the dinosaur era, there is no Arctic ice cap and Antarctica is subtropical. For tens of millions of years, seasons barely change. The water of the oceans is also much warmer. Hurricanes are frequent. The magnetic pole changes position continuously. Many times a modern compass would have pointed east, west, or south.